I'm Triple J, and welcome to Brain Food, where I tell you what's yummy and nutritious for your head. For today's episode, I'm going to be discussing the second installment in the Planetary Tarentalla Trilogy from Rachel Sharp called A Word and a Bullet. Now, in the first book, we follow the adventures of Maeve as she became a lowly college graduate with a lot of debt and no job prospects to becoming a pretty damn good survivor in this harsh new world. And in this installment, we are following the adventures of not one, but a trio of survivors from the onset of this apocalypse: Jamie, Colt, and Damien. One of the strengths of Rachel Sharp's writing here is that, quite frankly, the story of Jamie, Damien, and Colt is much different from Maeve. Where Maeve started out knowing nothing about how to survive, this trio of friends since university actually have some knowledge and actually go out into this world with some supplies, as, well, they are a trio of nerds who love to LARP, and we're actually getting prepared for a weekend summit on zombie survival, of all things. One of the other good things I should say about this book is that in having a trio of survivors, we have a close-knit group of friends dynamic going on between them. Colt is actually really good at reading his friends, especially when he has to pull Damien into line. Damien is being something of a collector, while he can't collect everything as it would be too much weight. The other thing I really quite enjoyed was the diversity of it. So not only do we have Damien, who's a bit of a motorhead, which is someone with practical knowledge who you would want to survive in the apocalypse. We also have Jamie, who is a librarian with a depth of knowledge of a lot of different things, is fluent in French and English, and is also asexual. Combined with Colt, who is Cherokee himself, we actually have something other than straight white people surviving and thriving in the apocalypse, which I really, truly appreciate. Another thing that I really appreciate about Rachel Sharp's writing here is that while this is an apocalypse series, it's not overly dark and nihilistic to the point where it's soul crushing for not only the people in it, but the reader as well. It's not as bad as, say, well, I'll just say it, The Walking Dead, which has become kind of the de facto or most well-known apocalypse series out there. While there are, dark moments and intense moments as the gravity of everything that is happening to the planet comes crashing down on this trio of friends, it doesn't break you down. It doesn't want to make you cry at absolutely everything. It's intense, sure, and it's definitely exciting at times, but it's not punch you in the heart at the turn of every page, which, again, I appreciate. As I said before, I do appreciate the diversity of the group, and as the story is centered around Colt, we really get into his head. It's told from his perspective. And again, this Rachel Sharp shows that she really knows how to write well in the first-person perspective. We do get some interesting questions that he asks himself. He is, as far as he knows throughout the course of the story and by the end, the lone Cherokee. So he asks himself, how am I supposed to carry on the customs and stories and history of my people? It's a huge burden to place on any one person, but it's also an interesting question to ask in the scope of this worldwide apocalypse. It's not something I really see asked of, well, anyone, let alone a person of color. So, again, really good work here by Rachel Sharp. Another good aspect of this story is that while Maeve and her dog Vet show up later on in the story, they don't take over the story. They don't become the focus of it. The focus of it remains Colt and his two friends. While Maeve, she assists, she helps, she gives advice, and, like we the reader, she sees the good qualities in Colt that Colt himself does not often see. He's level-headed, a good thinker, he can read people pretty damn well, such as when they meet Becky, who is another survivor that they bring to Knight's Reach, and he sees that she's nervous around men. So He, takes his best friend Damien aside to let the other two women, Maeve and Jamie, help Becky acclimate and feel comfortable. It made for a really good, relatable character, which I feel you definitely need in this story. After all, you don't want to be following someone like Rick the Prick from The Walking Dead all the bloody time. All in all, another great book from this relatively new author. And I honestly can't wait to read the third book in the series. I'm not sure when it comes out. I hope it comes out soon. I honestly can't wait to read whatever else that she has in mind, because if she does as good on those other books as she has on the 2 books she's released so far, it's going to make for a good time. I'm Triple J. That's all I got left to say. Take care.